Hey everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros, and it has been a very long time since I've done a video. So I thought with the Champions League and Europa League all finished now, I thought might as well get everything all together with a bit of Serie in there as well. It will be quite a long video, perhaps, maybe a bit longer than usual. Sometimes I do say that, and it's an average video. But there are a lot of topics to discuss here, and it has been a while since I have done one, so I may be a little rusty here. But let's get right to it and talk about the Champions League, what we saw, and considering the biggest surprise that there was, that maybe not a lot of people did see coming, was Atalanta progressing to the round of 16. They are the first team to also do that after losing their first 3 games of the group. This was a huge surprise. Again, they did manage to finish third last season, which was a big surprise in its own too. So a lot of people weren't sure what to expect them to really do, because they've never had any sort of European experience at this caliber as well. They knew they had to really strengthen their team and be able to compete against some of these strong sides. So their toughest team in their group was Manchester City, who no doubt would have topped the group, which they did. But especially after Atalanta lost their first opening games, they came close against Shakhtar Donetsk at home, and then did get pretty brutally defeated at City. But what are you going to do when you're playing at the Etihad? But then they managed to get an important victory at home afterwards, which, people saw some light in there. They got an important victory against Dinamo Zagreb, and they had to win the last day against Shakhtar with some help from City, and they managed just that as well. So this is huge for them, and it's time to see how they can reinforce their team going into the round of 16 now. We have the January transfer window coming up very shortly, so they can really change their teams, add some crucial additions, may add some experienced players who have been in this competition before. So it's time to see what Gasperini can do with his team. He does have talented players: Ilicic, Papu Gomez, Malinovsky. There's so much talent there that they can. I'm not sure if they can go farther than the round of 16. Who knows what can happen? We've had many surprises in the past in the Champions League before. But I'm confident Atalanta will put up a challenge against anyone they do face. That is for sure. And we're again looking to see what they can bring into this team. And because of their success too, Papu Gomez has even been named an honorary citizen of Bergamo. And considering he stayed with them throughout, pushed through them, was being the best captain that could be there for a team as well. He rejected so many offers in the past to leave Ladea, but he decided to stay with them, and look where they are today. Kudos for him for staying and believing that Atalanta can go far and be a threat that can really be reckoned with. Going to the other surprise here in the Champions League was Inter being knocked out again for a second consecutive year, and there was a lot of expectations going through, especially with the addition to Conte on their bench. But Inter let it go, where they tied their game against Slavia Prague. Then they gave up they were up playing good against Barcelona, and they let that slip where they got that loss. And then again, they let it slip at Dortmund, where they were up 2-0, and Dortmund comes away with the victory. So those games really came crucial. Inter really needed a win to beat Barcelona on the last game of the season, and hope that Dortmund did not win, but that didn't happen. Inter also were plagued with injuries too. They were missing Barella, Sensi. Lautaro Martinez played spectacular, but he just wasn't enough. So now with that, Inter get demoted to the Europa League, so maybe they'll try to hope to do better in that competition, go far, because again, if something happens where they don't win the league, at least they can also try to get Europa League. They do look very confident in Serie A right now, leading the table. We'll get to Serie A after again. But Inter will have to do better, and I know injuries are tough when you're missing a lot of your key players. And it's hard going up against Barcelona when you have Vecino, Borja Valero in that midfield, players like D'Ambrosio. excuse me, those aren't the players you want to play against a team like that. And I know Barca were playing a lot of their youngsters, but they're still very talented youngsters. And as we saw, like, a youngster won the game for Barcelona. So I know there wasn't much Inter could have done, but they did have their chances, and that's what happens. Like, when you're missing so many chances, it really doesn't help. And that's basically how they just got to do better. That's all it is they got to do better. Conte will now try to strengthen his team as well, trying to finish off the Serie season strong and see how well they can go in the Europa League as well. Going on to the other two teams as well, we had Juve topping their group and with teams like Atletico and Bayer Leverkusen. They beat Leverkusen right at the end there. Leverkusen were hoping to get through if they could win, but they didn't. Atletico even won their game, so they managed to pass by. Juve playing pretty solid when they need to be. They only drew the one game at the beginning against Atletico, and then after that just won on a tear, winning every game possible. Napoli on the other end almost got the chance to go first. You know, they tied Liverpool, they tied Salzburg, and they did tie Genk. So those were crucial games they could have won as well, but they didn't. That could have got them first. They did manage to do a huge pounding on Genk in the last game of the group, which allowed them to at least qualify as well. And then Salzburg for them got very unlucky to not get anything past Liverpool. But even that, Liverpool got the victory. Napoli finished second in the group. So they would hope to look for someone, not that they want to get an easy opponent, but someone they know they can beat. And considering now after their win against Genk, Ancelotti was fired and Gattuso was replaced, so Gattuso does have the Serie A experience, but going forward in the Champions League, I'm not sure if he would have been the best fit for that. If they were perhaps eliminated from the Champions League, I feel like Europa League would have been maybe a little bit easier for him just because he has more experience with that. I know he has experience with Champions League as a player, but with a coach it's a completely different thing. Anything happens. You have to be really smart with who you play, how you play, the players you put on. So especially with this Napoli team that's been off and on this year, it's hard to see how they're going to do with Gattuso, but I'm confident Gattuso can change their fortunes around, and maybe he can make them go far, reestablish themselves in Serie A. There's a lot to be seen, and again, with January coming up, that's also an important part for many of these teams because that's where they can let go of dead weight or bring in some fresh faces that could perhaps change the fortunes of certain clubs. So there's a lot to be seen with Napoli going forward. So what do you guys think of the Champions League? Again, congrats to Atalanta for putting the biggest surprise and smiles on everyone in Italy, especially those in Bergamo. Hopefully they can go far, and I'm really hoping they can prove that a small club can do anything, that shows that anything's possible in Europe. And now, again, what do you guys think or how do you guys think the groups went? Do you think we expected some of these changes? What do you guys think with Atalanta? Do you expect him to go farther than the round of 16? Or do you expect him to get eliminated here? Let me know what you think and what are the best odds of them. I guess it also depends who they do face. Hopefully it's not someone too strong. But let me know who you guys think will, like, how they'll do going forward. Let me know too how you guys think Gattuso can handle Napoli going forward in the Champions League as well. Like, again, that'll be interesting to see going forward. So, and Juve, if they can make another final, to see if they can go farther with Cristiano Ronaldo leading the way. They only made it to the quarterfinals last year with him, so maybe they can try going forward even farther. They can make the semis, finals, who knows, because they, again, have been trying to get that trophy for the longest time ever, losing many finals over the past. But maybe this year will be different. Only time will tell. So now, with Inter going into the Europa League, we're going to talk about the Europa League as well. And there definitely was some shocks there. Maybe not shocks entirely, but just more like what happened. Because considering Lazio were eliminated in their group, and Roma finishing second in theirs, and considering the biggest shock there was Borussia Mönchengladbach finishing second and being eliminated on the last day where all they needed was a draw. But that's not really have to worry about that, I guess, right? We'll go with Lazio for now. They finished third. They needed a win on the last day, but they did not get that. They lost to Rennes, and then they also needed Cluj to lose to Celtic, which didn't happen either. Cluj beat Celtic on the last day. But Lazio lost all their away games. They lost away to Cluj. They lost away to Rennes. They lost away to Celtic. So how did they expect to make it through when they lost all their away games? Yeah, they won 2 out of their 3 home games still, but they can't be doing that. They didn't get any positive results. Yes, they did come close a couple of times against Celtic, but they didn't really look like they came out to play. And I know some injuries did hamper them a bit. But at the same time, you would expect Lazio to go through, especially when you have players like Milinkovic-Savic, Luis Alberto, Immobile leading the line when you have 17 goals in all competitions this season. It's outstanding that they could not get anything more. They could not qualify at all. So now their focus is on the league. They do also have the Coppa Italia to play for as well. So I know they're very close at the top of Serie as well. Maybe they'll work towards that, but this is still surprising because Lazio could have maybe gone a little bit farther, but they did not play at all. Even the last game when I was watching against Rennes, they didn't. I know they're missing a lot of figures there, but they did not look like a team that wanted to win. Going on to Roma again, who finished second of their group. They could have got top if they did beat Wolfsberger, who played much more brilliant in the second half against the Giallorossi at the Olimpico. Full deserved draw for Wolfsberger. Roma have to do much better if they expect to go far in this competition. I know they did get very unlucky in the games against Mönchengladbach where the ref conceded a penalty for the German side, which hit Smalling's head. And then in Germany, the ball had gone out of play and the ref let it play on. But at the same time, it's hard when there's no VAR, and maybe this is why VAR should be there to help determine these sort of situations. So they got very unlucky there, but still, they can't rely on situations like that. They need to close out the game, defend better, and score when they need to in order to capitalize. So now we'll see what they get, especially finishing second. There are those tough teams coming in from the Champions League. There are some other tough teams here in the Europa League as well. So they really have to watch out and play much better if they expect to go anywhere further. Again, they did get crucial, both 2 crucial wins against Başakşehir, if I can say their name right. But they couldn't. I know Mönchengladbach was a tough one to do. They beat Wolfsburg and Başakşehir. Or they tied. I'm so sorry. I'm lost right now. But anyway, they tied. They drew Wolfsburger twice. Roma beat Başakşehir. Başakşehir, yes, twice. I'm looking at it, getting confused. I apologize. Anyways, again, Roma need to do better. I know some games are missing some players. I know, but Roma should be in the capability of beating these teams with ease at the same time, but I know with a new coach or whatever, it sometimes takes some time to get into the system. So January will be good for them to help, focus their time on seeing what needs to be or what areas need to be secured and going forward if they want to maybe perhaps win this competition. Because again, if they finish in the top half of the table, they can only, depending where they finish, I know they're close to a Champions League position right now, but just in case that doesn't happen, Europa League, again, would be a good entry into the Champions League. And an Italian team are really hoping that they can win a European trophy very soon as well. Time will only tell how these teams will fare. And then we do have Inter, who is also coming down from Champions League, so I feel they should fare a little bit better here. They will have some of their players coming back, and they will definitely pick up 1 or 2 faces come the transfer market. I know I keep talking about that, but again, it's where teams will help to get necessary results in the last few remaining months of the season. And especially it's where if you pick up an injury long term, that will definitely hinder your team's chances. So look out for what these teams will do in the next month or so, and let me know how you guys think Roma and Inter will fare in the Champions League, Europa League. And do you think they have a chance at winning it, or do you think they'll just go deep enough and get eliminated later on? I'm hoping they can go for all the way, but it's tough to say. And let me know what you guys think. So now with Europe all taken care of, I'm going to get to a few topics here in Serie. We'll just quickly recap what happened last weekend, just going over the results quickly. But even before we get over to the results, there was the huge headline that hit Serie last weekend, as it was Inter Roma. And one of the Italian newspapers, everyone has definitely heard of it because it's caused outrage. Even the director of the newspaper has defended his paper's actions as well, has not apologized. And he says they're all lynching because of the racism there. I'll explain again if you guys haven't seen it. And he even deleted his Twitter handle or Twitter account because of all the tweets that were coming at him, all the comments. So he didn't want to take it, which he should be apologizing for, but I guess not. They decided to put up a newspaper headline, front page, with Lukaku and Smalling trying to say these two former United teammates are going up against each other, but instead of just saying Black Friday right there. I know some people say they don't find it racist. I find it quite racist, actually, and it's not something you should be doing like that, especially with that terminology and all the stuff that's been going on in Italy already. Yes, you could have used those two players, but you could have used an entirely different headline. With that, it just... I don't know what some of these Italian people think. It's absurd what they do, and that caused a lot of controversy. And now all 20 teams have signed something to hopefully going forward to stop racism going forward in the league. And I know it's going to be a very difficult thing to do, but if all these teams can get on board, something will be done, and hopefully it will be taken out of the game entirely. Now, going on the results, that Inter-Roma game finished 0-0, and Inter at least got a point, and with Juve falling on the weekend as well, that did help them. We had Atalanta coming back to beat Verona 3-2. Udinese getting a valuable point against Napoli, and not what Napoli wanted, especially with their on and off season going on. Lazio beating Juventus, Sarri's first defeat at the helm of the team. 3-1, huge result again for Lazio, who do shoot up the table. Immobile even missed a penalty, and they still managed to score a couple goals, especially after Cuadrado's red card. Lecce did a superb comeback against Genoa after going down from 2 goals down. Pandev scored a really nice goal after a bad missed kick clearance from Gabriel, and then Falco even responded with his own beauty coming off from the bench. Torino get a valuable 3 points, beating Fiorentina 2-1. Montella's job is even more at risk here after this defeat, and time to see what the board will think of who to replace. I know they were saying Gattuso, but now that he's with Napoli, it's time to see other names that are there. Spal lose at home to Brescia. Brescia, who had just reappointed Corini after they had just fired Grosso, who went 3 games without a win, losing all 3. Not being able to score a single goal at all, so that was really impactful as well. But he comes back, Corini, and manages to get the win here since September, so that is huge in their fight to stay up in Serie A. Sassuolo, Cagliari 2-2 here. Cagliari coming from another victory, and they go 13 games unbeaten. And that is incredible for a team who no one expected them to do this well. The mid-table side, perhaps avoid relegation, but they're playing outstanding. Raja Nainggolan, since coming back, has been their key player there, and he's definitely going to help carry Cagliari, and is whether or not they can maintain this form going forward as well. Parma get the 3 points away at Sampdoria. Sampdoria missing a penalty as well. This would have been a huge point for them. I know their goal was waved back after after the penalty, but there's some, I believe it was offside or someone ran into the box. I couldn't get the full scope of it, but not a result Sampdoria needed. Even though they're outside the bottom three, it's still not what they need to move up and away from that. Then the last game of last weekend was Milan pulling together a small winning streak, beating Bologna here 3-2. Piontek finally gets a goal as well. Theo Hernandez gets another goal. So him and Piontek are actually top scorers at 4 goals. Surprisingly, like Theo Hernandez has been Milan's best player, and now the Rossoneri have even looked better with Pioli. It has been taking some time, but they're looking much better with him, and especially with Bonaventura back. Him and Hernandez playing on that left side helps to alleviate some of the work Suso has to do. So it's not always going to him where he's being constantly marked. He's able to do his own thing now, move where he wants, and Bonaventura and Theo can work their ways on the left side. So it does help out on both ends of the pitch as well. And again, Pioli has been working well with Milan, helping them move up the table after a terrible start to this campaign. And with Inter's draw and Juve's defeat, Inter still do remain top of the table by only 2 points. So wondering if they can get another win here. And we'll talk about who they all play next right after this. Top 4, Inter, Juve, Lazio, and Cagliari. Cagliari tied right now with Roma up there. So again, it's going to be interesting to see if Cagliari can stay in this position. Are they going to pull another Atalanta this year? Will Atalanta replace them? Can both these teams make it perhaps? There's still a long way to go. You know, we're only about four games until we're about at the halfway stage. So time to see how these next few games will go, and then especially with the later half when new faces come into these teams. There's a lot to be seen. Roma 5th, Atalanta 6th, and then Napoli just outside there, 7 points behind Atalanta. Milan able to creep into the top 10 now, and if they can keep winning, they can move up. I really hope they can make Champions League because, you know, they've been missing out on it for so long, and I'm not, like, I don't know now the way, because especially the way they started and the way other teams are going. I know they're only 9 points behind Cagliari. Anything's possible, but do we see them more in the Europa League spot? And I know they don't want Europa League. They want to be playing on Thursday. They want to be playing in the highest competition possible so they can attract the biggest names out there. So the way Pioli has them going, I feel they can definitely push up the standings. They really have to work hard if they want to get all 3 points there. At the bottom, we do see Spal, Brescia, and Genoa. And Brescia did get that victory to push themselves above Spal and get themselves a very crucial victory against another relegation contender. And I know next week, too, we do have Genoa-Sampdoria, which is going to be a huge game for those two teams who are both trying to battle out and stay out of the relegation zone. And we're going to get right into that as well. So Saturday, we have Brescia-Lecce at 9 a.m., Napoli-Parma at 12, and then again, like I said, the Derby della Lanterna at 2:45 is going to be crucial for these teams. For one of these, like both these teams will need points, and unfortunately, they can only share 1 point apiece. So let's see who wants all 3 points more than the other, and it would also be important to see who can get all 3 points, considering it'll be a head-to-head after. So depending what the result is, can come the later days, and at the end of the season, it's going to be a head-to-head matchup if it needs to come to that. So this game was going to be one step into that. Going to Sunday, 6:30, we have Verona-Torino. 9 a.m., we have Milan-Sassuolo, Bologna-Atalanta, and Juve-Udinese. Juve should be winning this as well. Udinese haven't looked the best this year as well, but you know they did pick up a point against Napoli, but Napoli, who also hasn't looked the strongest side as well. And then Bologna-Atalanta is going to be huge because Mihailovic is a good coach as well. He does have a good Bologna team, but maybe Atalanta will be too much to handle. They have looked good, but I'm going to look forward to this because it's two great tacticians going about it. Going to be a really entertaining game for sure. Milan again want to go on a 3-game winning streak, hoping they can pick up another important 3 points here against Sassuolo, who haven't looked that great this year, and they want to take advantage of that. They're looking much better, and especially with Piontek finding the net once again, they're hoping he can lead the Lions in this game as well. In the noontime game, we have Roma Spal. Roma again want to do better after that poor performance against Wolfsberger in the Europa League, and then Spal want to try getting something crucial at the Olimpico. Even if they get a point, they would be happy with that, but I know it won't be enough. But especially a tie at the Olimpico would be huge for them. 2:45, we have Fiorentina Inter. Should be an exciting game. Inter want to make sure they stay on top with this win, especially depending how Juve do in theirs. Fiorentina have looked shaky in their recent games. They have 4 losses in their last 5 games, so they want to finally get a victory now. Beating Inter would be huge for them as well, and it would really boost up their confidence too. On Monday, we have 2:45 Cagliari Lazio. Lazio, who are on a 6-game winning streak, will bring their fine form to Cagliari, and Cagliari, who have looked great. They came back against Sampdoria to win that late on after being down 3-1 to win 4-3 at the end. They came down against the Swallow, and like I said, they're on a 13-game unbeaten run. So can they break Lazio's winning streak, whether it be a win or a draw, or Lazio will continue their 5 form going on a 7-game winning streak. So let me know which game you guys are looking forward to, what you guys think we can expect, and do you think Gattuso can make an instant impact with Napoli against Parma this weekend? I know Parma can be a tricky side, but Gattuso does have his work cut out for him, and especially if he wants to make Napoli more consistent. He did the same with Milan. Can he do the same with Napoli? All you Napoli fans listening to us, listening to me out there, let me know if you think Gattuso was the right man for that, and do you think he can turn their fortunes around? Do you think Inter can remain top of the table once again, or will Juve be able to capitalize on any mistakes that they do? I know Juve's playing before, but a win would put them above Inter. So it's going to be a really close encounter here. And again, if Lazio do manage to win their game, they will go on 36 points, which is tied at Juve right now, and will be 2 points behind Inter as it currently stands. So a lot to look out for. Do you think Cagliari's streak is going to end here, or do you think that they'll keep going? Can they go all the way? There's just so much to see here, and I know there's plenty of games still to play, but we're looking at this right now. So let me know what you guys think of these matchups happening this weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the bell to receive notifications on our newest videos. Apologies for that. And again, just check it out, comment below, let us know what you guys think. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_Bros, and we'll hear from you guys soon. Ciao.